All right, time now is 11:20 a.m. I will call the meeting to order. The first item on the agenda is approval of the minutes from September 21st, 2022. I'll make a motion to approve the minutes as presented.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Item number 3, citizens' comments period. I'll now open up the meeting to citizens' comments. Is there anybody online?
Which one was thinking they have one other person online? Well, it's just me. I see two.
There's two.
Yeah, it's the conference. Okay.
It's the
Gotcha.
conference room and myself, yeah.
As no citizens are present, I will close citizens' comments period. Item number 4, staff updates.
Okay. So the first one is board member appointments. I know we spoke last month about reappointing Tony and Eddie to the board. And then we have 2 other applicants, which was to replace Joan. That's Luke Miller from Seton, and then Cassidy Arenado from the San Marcos Airport would like to take the tourism seat. And so I had it on the council agenda for last 2 weeks ago, but council wanted to keep the agenda kind of light, so they moved it to this coming Tuesday. And so we'll just know after the agenda setting meeting on Thursday if, the mayor will move forward with keeping him on there. I did express to Jerry and that, I hope that they don't move it so that we don't get loss of interest from Cassidy or Luke Miller. So is that mainly the reason why they moved it, just to keep the agenda light, or is there further discussion that they wanted to have on this item?
I think, I'm not real, I can't recall why.
Too much has happened.
The
So
mayor
yeah.
mentioned in the meeting that the process that
Right.
this board goes through is so different from all the other boards. He wanted to make sure everyone was okay with generally how this is happening. I think it's something he said in the meeting. I don't know if any of that got resolved.
Right. I think we went through we clarified the current, that is
Well,
an
that's
item,
an
is to
item that
clarify.
got moved as well. So Jerry said he'd like to see the item amending the policy to exclude the board from that current policy, and then have the appointments right after that. So there'll be discussion on that, and then appointments and reappointments.
I think that was the intention, but it just didn't get in the ordinance written that way, that y'all are excluded. And the reason for that is because you represent different interests, industries, etc. versus on our other boards and commissions. It's just, are you a Kyle citizen? And so that's why we wanted to preserve that representation style that we have for this board.
So I'll let you know after they post the agenda if the item remains on there, and if you are able to be in attendance
This is next week.
on Tuesday.
Yeah, I'm gonna be in Arkansas next week, all week.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
Oh, that's okay. I think they know you well. It's just a reappointment. So, and then Eddie, you came and spoke at the last meeting, so they all know you as well. Hopefully I'll see if Luke and Cassidy can be in person or at least virtual. Will and I will be virtual as well, so we'll be in.
I suppose I could join virtually though. I mean,
You can. Mhm.
yeah, I did last
Want
Saturday.
Okay.
Or at
Oh,
the
you
Sat-
did? You were on the whole time.
Yes, I was. And so if I've got an internet connection, I can do that. I certainly can
Okay.
join in.
Okay.
What time is that evening?
Starts at 7. Mhm. So I can give you a better idea of where it falls on the agenda as well. And then if you want to join virtually, I can text you when they're about to get to that item so that you don't have to listen to
That
the
would be awesome.
Okay. So more to come on that. But it'll be nice if they do appoint Cassidy and Luke, and then we'll have a full board of 7 members. Okay, and the next staff update is roads bond update. So the city has had one open house here at the city that we hosted downstairs, and there was a good amount of people in attendance, maybe half a dozen to a dozen people came. We had the boards, everything that you see when you walk down the hallway here, there's maps and drawings of all of the roads that are on this bond. for consideration. So citizens were able to come and look around and ask any questions. And then they also hosted a panel discussion, which was also well attended. We had good questions from citizens that were online. And what I heard from Jeff Barton, which really stuck out to me, he mentioned that of the people that they were able to get their questions answered and their concerns addressed, in the beginning, they were opposed to the road bond, but once they had a full understanding of what everything meant and, you know, the process, he felt like then they changed their mind and they were in support of it. So I think these open houses are good to educate people so they can get their questions answered either way. There's another open house coming up next week. What day is it on? Do you know?
Thursday.
It's Thursday? Okay, and this one will be held at the Public Works Building. It starts at 5.
Let me double check that.
Okay, sorry. I'm not gonna be here, so I don't have it on my calendar. But it's another opportunity to have the residents, and we're purposely hosting it on the east side so that, you know, we can have residents join us that have questions. So, Julie also has the mayor presenting at the, I'm gonna probably steal your thunder, but I know you were going to. Yeah, I'm sure you were going to announce it, but the mayor will also be the guest speaker at the chamber luncheon on the 25th. And he will be talking about the roads bond to answer more questions. So, Julie, can tell you.
Will Jeff be there also, or just the mayor?
Jeff, I assume that they would be there.
Is Kara
I think they
handling
were-
most of it?
Mhm.
Kara, yeah.
Yeah. I believe that we asked Jeff if he was going to be there, and I think he said he was, or he was going to be out of town, but Kara was going to try to be there. So. Okay. Alrighty, and then the next is Women in STEM event at Lehman High School. So the school district reached out to us. This is a workforce initiative that we're really excited to be a part of. The school district reached out to us and asked if we had any female, you know, recommendations for any women that are in the STEM careers that could be on a panel for the young girls at Lehman High School that are on the STEM career path. And so Lauren and I helped connect them with our engineers that work here at the city. So Joanne and Yvonne, I wasn't that right, and Kathy. So they all work in that field, and yeah, it's real exciting, you know, to be part of that event and just to show girls what, you know, what they can achieve if they remain on this career path. So that event is
November 10th.
November 10th.
At 11.
Yes, and then our city engineer is also working on connecting connecting them with other engineers or that she has connections with other companies. So they should have a good representation there for the girls. The next update is Kyle hosted the regional partners meeting. So Austin has a regional partners group made up of economic developers from the region and also utility providers join. So they try to host, different communities try to host this event throughout the year. And so I hosted last week, and we hosted it at the PAC, and it was a perfect location because we were right next door to Heroes Memorial Park. So we got to showcase our new park to the regional partners, and most of them hadn't even been to Kyle in I don't know how many years. So when they drove here, they were just so surprised at how much we've grown and also how much is to come. You know, I gave them a real quick brief update on what we have going on in Kyle, and they were real excited. So following the meeting, then I also toured the Austin Regional Partners, just the core team from the Austin Chamber. I toured them around Kyle. So that was also fun for them to see La Verde. It's the first time I've driven down to see La Verde Park in brick and mortar district. I hadn't actually been down that road, so it was kind of new to me. And then it's good because then they get to see the spec buildings that we have available, our business parks. And they are the ones that are working the leads that they get directly from site selectors and from the state. So it's good to help them make that connection They were taking notes and making note of all the spec industrial that we have, some of the remaining pieces of land that we have available, so they can make those connections for us as well.
Which
So,
regional partners attended?
we had San Marcos, Pflugerville, Hutto. Oh yeah, James's team from Hutto came. Who else was there?
Hutto.
We had from Texas State, from ACC.
From the governor's office.
Oh, a gentleman from the governor's office attended.
Wow.
That was a good turnout.
GSMP.
Yeah, very good turnout.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they had about 20, 25 people there.
Wow, great.
So yeah, it was fun to showcase our city. Okay. Oh, APA conference. So I'm lucky that I'm going to be, and I was invited by Will and his team to go join them at what APA stands for Association of, or
American Planning Association.
American Planning Association. So that state conference is next week. And since I've been working so closely with Will and his team, it's good for me to cross-train a little bit in planning and understand some of the planning lingo that they talk about. So I'm excited to join Will, Kayla, Debbie, and a couple of the planning and zoning commissioners are going with us as well. So I'll get a little more time with them as well. And Lauren, next topic is workforce and BRE updates. I am so happy to say that Lauren has completed her training, one round of training in business retention and expansion through IEDC. And IEDC is the International Economic Development Council. They offer training for different topics, but Lauren took a pretty rigorous 2-day training on business retention and expansion. But she'd kind of already moved into that role, and I just see her flourishing in that role. I think you want to talk a little bit about some of the visits you've had?
Sure. I went on a few visits to Simwan and Plasticon, ENF, and Viking. Is it not Viking Rose? Viking Supply. At each of these, I've known they've been here in Kyle, but to get and sit and talk with them and understand what they're doing was really, really neat. Again, I'm just learning all of this business retention and expansion, and so Maggie, the GSMP, went with me on these visits, and we just literally showed up and knocked on the door, and they let us in, which was great. And they sat and talked with us. Yeah, and let's see, American Metals, which is what do they do? Do you remember? They're the HVAC supplier. They're doing fantastic. They were one of the 4 businesses that I talked to that are good on employees, on just everything. The other few that I talked to are definitely in need of hiring employees. And so we want to work with helping them with that. But ENF was one that just blew me away. I've never been in there. I know ENF is here. But they gave us a really awesome tour, and their facility is just amazing. You don't know what they do until you go inside and see their facility. It's incredible. So I'm excited about learning all of these new things and getting to talk with all these businesses. So.
Yeah, it's such an important role in economic development, is not to neglect our existing businesses, because you can always find a need that they have, that they're so busy and they may not take the time to reach out to us or don't know who to reach out to.
And they were I just wanted to mention, they were all very happy for us to be there and show us around. They love, I guess, having city representation there and showing us what they do and meeting everybody. So that was another really cool thing to get to be a part of.
And then having this connection is good and helpful for us. The other day, our city engineer needed a contact at ENF for their engineering team to get some plans that they were looking for. And our city engineer said, does anyone know anyone at ENF? We're like, we do.
Yeah.
We know who the engineers are. So it's good even for internally for our city departments to know. Lauren has gone out with code enforcement even in the past couple of weeks to visit some of the businesses who had just some issues with dumpsters and stuff that we help them get settled. So I can't overstate how extremely important the BRE role is. So I'm happy that Lauren's moving into it and just doing a great job. So
Can I ask a quick question about, so when we went out to both Plasticon and Simwan, I don't remember, maybe a year ago, you think?
Oh, yeah.
They were both about to, or working to expand their plant based on some contracts that they were getting. Did they mention that? Like, did they get their contracts? Did they expand? Are they still waiting to expand? Do we know?
Is
I
that,
think it's something we could discuss in executive session.
Oh, got it. Okay.
Okay, and the last one is board member updates. Does anyone, do you want to go around the room? Did I miss anything? I'm sure you have. I have some other things. I know you always do.
all right.
Here.
So next week is Chamber of Commerce Week, and I invite each of you to attend the council meeting, except Tony, he's gonna have to virtually praise us. We are receiving
I always do, Julie.
a mayoral, I know, that's why we have to get back to it. It's quiet. We are receiving a mayoral proclamation recognizing the Kyle Chamber of Commerce and our contribution to the business community. So I invite you to attend. It is early on, so be there at 6:45 and you can probably be out by 7:30, 8 o'clock. And with that, we'll be promoting a lot of things that we do. And then on October 25th is KACC Votes Day. And this is a day that we designed, I think 3-4 years ago, 2018. Precinct 2, the second day of early voting has historically been the lowest day for turnout. And they had 19 people vote at Precinct 2. So in 2019, we put together KACC Votes Day and encouraged all of the business community and their employees to go out and vote on that date. And we were very effective and had about 298 people vote at that precinct on that day. So since then, we always have the second Tuesday of early voting be KACC Votes Day. And strategically, it is also the same day as our luncheon. So our luncheon, as Victoria mentioned, we are educating our members and the public, whoever wants to attend, on the road bond, so they feel comfortable in their voting, and we caravan over after the luncheon and everybody casts their vote. In addition to that, our board, we announced yesterday that we have expressed and publicly announced supporting 2 candidates, and we are endorsing for District 1, Nick Madsen, and for District 3, incumbent Robert Rizzo. So our goal here is really to identify the 2 candidates that most in line with our goals and will best represent the business community. And we're just telling our members whether they vote for or against, know what you're voting for or against. And that's our job, is to make sure that we get information about all of the candidates, about the road bond, so they feel comfortable in casting their vote on October 25th. So I hope you will all do that. By the way, this is a full at-large position, both District 1 and 3, so it's good for all voters to pay close attention to it. And then the next day, on October 26th, at the PAC, from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m., we are hosting our annual Safety in the Workplace CRAZE training. So this will be a 3-hour program of citizen response to active shooter events. We are incorporating a 30-minute presentation on fentanyl awareness. We've had a few, we have had a few members ask if we're going to do that. So in partnership with the Kyle Police Department, we will have the active shooter training. We have a self-aid buddy aid, which is a Stop the Bleed program. We have crime prevention in the workplace. Officer Plant will conduct that. And then the fentanyl with the Hays County Sheriff's Department. So it's absolutely free. So Dr. Wright, if you have anyone that you want to attend this program, or any of your businesses want to attend or send some staff, it's absolutely free. It is sponsored by Wells Fargo Bank and the Chamber, and we just encourage you to please make reservations so we make sure we have enough food. It will include breakfast and lunch, and we have to make sure we have enough seats. Again, it will be at the Performing Arts Center on Wednesday, October 26th. So
Wednesday, October 26th.
All right, thank you, Julie.
So 8 a.m., yes.
Any other,
Registration.
any other board member updates?
No, I don't think so.
Emily, do you have any board member?
No, I
Okay. Okay. Anything,
Good.
right?
I can talk forever, but
Well, I am curious, fentanyl is kind of on the rise, and
I'll have one.
hear a lot of reports within the school district. What's,
yeah, no, we try to get out in front of it. I was talking with Tony about it earlier, Chief Barnett, got in touch with us after the very first death that we had, and we decided that one death was too many. We needed to move forward and educate people about what's going on. And we have had 4 total deaths, not at school, but in the community that were our students. And then we've had 8 overdoses that we've saved the students' lives, either at their homes or in school. We got 3 in school that we're stocking our school resource officers and our nurses with Narcan now. And bought a huge supply of it, and we're rotating it in. And these aren't, what's scary about this is these aren't just drug addicts. These are kids that think they're getting maybe an Adderall so that they can stay up later and study. And then another kid, because he'd gotten that, wanted something to help him sleep. And so when you actually delve into this, I mean, probably the way it was back when I was in school, if I had a headache, I'd ask the kid next to me, hey, you got anything for a headache? And they'd hand it to you, and you took it that it was going to be safe. Now you can't do that because it's pretty much everything is laced with fentanyl, and so we're trying to educate. We've started a video series, and we're showing a video like every 3 weeks to 4 weeks, and the next one in the series has one of our students that died. He overdosed, and then a month later he died, and the mom is speaking to other moms about the signs that she felt like she missed. And when you sit in the room and you listen to them tell their story, it's gut wrenching. And it's not your typical kind of person that you think is a drug abuser. And so whether they are or whether they're not, we're trying to help them. And the problem that we're running into, and maybe you guys can help us advocate, is we have an anonymous reporting line now, and we're getting kids that say, I need help, I'm addicted. So then we reach out and we try to get them in touch with a substance abuse counselor, but there aren't any hardly in the area. So it's like a 2-month wait to get a kid in. And so for a person that is a true addict, they can't wait two months. So they're going to go get their next pill, and no telling if it's going to be a good pill or a bad pill. And so been working with DEA, with the FBI, with Senator Cornyn, Congressman Roy, the county, and we're trying to figure out a way to fund more substance abuse counselors to help with this crisis, along with the law enforcement piece of it. And we've already arrested 2 of the dealers and caught them with a baggie of pills about that size that they're selling them for like $60 a piece. They're making them in their garages, in their backyards, wherever they can. So they're probably the kid that made a D in chemistry, but yet now they're making pills for people, and they look identical to what you get at the pharmacy, and they're making them look like Sweet Tarts and Skittles now too. So they look really user friendly, but we're fighting the good fight. My student advisory panel kids, I have 4 kids from each high school. They're starting a social media campaign, so it can be peer to peer via social media, and talking about the ills of fentanyl. And we think that's going to have a lot of traction too, because they're not always going to get a lot out of our videos or adults talking to them. So we need the teenage whisperers. And so what better than another teenager? So we're working on that. But it's scary. But I tell you what, since then, the governor's picked it up. TEA's called me, DEA's called me, FBI's called me nationally. So I applaud Chief Barnett for getting it started and being such a good partner, because then we just have been working together to get the information out. That's great.
Are the kiddos meaning to take fentanyl? fentanyl? Is that, or
So,
fentanyl just happens?
The ones, yeah, like one kid we talked to that overdosed said that fentanyl gives you a better high. And she admitted to being an addict. And so, yes, in some instances, but like probably 3/4 of them just thought they were getting a pill for like pain. Like one kid thought he was getting an oxycodone from a friend. Another one thought he was getting a Percocet. Another one thought he was getting an Adderall. And so kids are telling kids and a classic example of what's going on. We had on a weekend night, we had some kids that at like 1 a.m. met at one of our elementary schools, Camino Rio, way out off of 21. And all the kids took a pill. So 3 pills and only one of them overdoses. So of those 3 pills bought from the same supplier, 2 were okay, 1 was not. And so it's like, if you're making brownies or something, you may get a little bit more chocolate in this brownie than you have in this one. So just, it's like a granule of salt that you could have more in this pill than this one that will trigger that reaction. And fortunately, the other 2 didn't worry about getting busted for having illegal drugs. They called EMS immediately and they Narcan the kid 3 times and
He survived.
and saved the kid's life. Yeah.
So I didn't realize that fentanyl was, you said it's made synthetic, I mean, it's just synthetic.
Mhm.
Wow, I don't know what I thought it was.
It is.
I just, and so
And
did
there is a use for it, medically, but that's under people
Not
that know
this type,
what
yeah.
they're doing.
So they're just making it and selling it
Mhm.
and disguising what it even is. I did not realize that. I thought it was, in my mind, it was the prescription drug problem. Like they were going and buying the fentanyl and then selling it. I didn't realize they were making it.
Yeah, and we have a page now dedicated to fighting fentanyl. And I've spoken to all the superintendents in the Austin area, and I'm scheduled to speak to the ones in San Antonio. And so it's getting traction, and so hopefully we'll save some lives in doing and educating everybody.
Well, kudos for you guys jumping on it so fast.
Yes, definitely so.
You really did.
Sad.
For your efforts, great.
Okay, next item on the agenda is executive session. You want to motion to reconvene into open session?
Second.
Second by Tony. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All right. Any other discussion for the meeting? I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Thank you, everybody. Short meeting.